Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is the game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and this is my match against Xargun. This is a special episode, part number 2, because last time I have a little run out of time, and I tried to catch where I left and maybe fill up the story about the situation in the war against allies. So I talked about the conclusion I did with my carriers, that I will call my first carrier division or my Pacific carrier division, or whatever you want to call it. Now it's moving. From around Nomaya, New Caledonia, New Zealand, back to help to increase my power and fleet presence at around Perth, because I guess that the main battle in the future will be convoy lane battles here at the box, at the edge of the box, let's say this. And I don't have really much firepower to offer out of Ceylon, so my India Force Carrier Division is more or less inactive, because 2 carriers will go in shipyard. Kaga is out of action for a long time, and I can only offer Akagi to support at Perth. But this also means that I will create only one bigger carrier division now at the West Australian area around Perth, and the rest will be under upgrade or repair. In July, after Akagi and Suikaki are back, I have to upgrade Akagi and Kaga. I mean, Kaga is anyway out of action, but then Akagi will go offline. So first in August I will have then Akagi back, and maybe in September I have Kaga back. So roughly this time. About Philippines, there's not much changing here. So you have a lot of bases, you can ship your resources, and I ship more or less my resources mainly to Manila, and then from Manila I create a bigger convoys and ship all the resources back to Hong Kong, and from Hong Kong they're going to Korea. And once per month, so I ship maybe also stuff from Davao, because it's will not really automatically flow to the north end of the island, and then I would be able to transport this to Manila. It's working, but only a very small scale. So Davao is still port I must use, and I don't really want use, but what I forgot to talk about before, there's not really much about to talk about Sumatra. Vietnam is fine, Thailand is fine. I have an air HQ here at Port Blair, simply as a backup solution if there's ever any air battle coming to be if it's heat up here in the Bay of Bengal, I won't have an air HQ here, because I think it's better to strike out of Port Blair than out of Rangoon. Rangoon always have the risk that your aircraft is maybe lured to Calcutta or this area, so it could end badly. I don't have an air HQ here, I don't have an air HQ here, I really have only a Port Blair air HQ. And I have a overall command HQ here, this also gives you torpedoes, and the air HQ, I think I have transfer somewhere other HQ. No. So I think I will send is there not a HQ on the way? Yeah. Here is a air HQ coming. So means I have torpedoes out of Colombo, I have a HQ here, and I have a HQ here. I must only be careful. Out of Colombo, airstrikes are also dangerous, because they could always fly to South India. So I don't want to lose my torpedo bombers in a super strong trap. this island group is really only that you control them. There's nothing really to gain. Some oil is here. I ship my oil always to this location, then back to South China or Cambodia or Vietnam, whatever. Oh, yeah, you get different options, but this is really only little oil. What I really need is, I have a smaller airbase here in Delhi and in Kopeng, simply because I need sometimes aircraft with not so much range. I can fly to Kopeng, and then from Kopeng I can fly them to Port Headland, and then from Port Headland I can fly to Perth, because the distance from Perth for the most aircraft to Surabaya is simply not possible. 43 Navy aircraft maybe, but not Army pilots. Or not Army airframes. Only the super transport craft maybe. Here, east of Australia, I can maybe talk a little more, but I have this creation of the division is on the way. I have also a aircraft or airbase here to, and there's nothing really here, but I want to create an airbase here that I have strike power going out in cap, because it's also end of the rail. I need to take this base to get the rail working, but and if I have then later Brisbane, that would be fine. But I cannot go much south of Brisbane, so I can really only go, not really need it. So I must maybe stay here and in Brisbane. This base is only a dot base. Broken Hill is a big resource center. This is more or less the same what we have here in the north already. It's even bigger. I don't know if other, I think there was some little more resources. Here's 20. Townsville is also 2020. Here's 20. This is nothing. Or Kempton is, I think, destroyed. Here's 20. 20. This was empty. This is empty. Naja, so in total here is maybe 500 resources. I think, yeah, here's nothing. And the dot base is empty. Yeah. Still, this is a little equipment. This is nothing, 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 nothing. And Darwin itself is also only super mini resources. And here is also nothing. So the big mine is here. This is 100. East of Australia is more or less 500. There's 500 additional here I could take, but it's really at the edge. If I take this, I need also take Port Augusta and this, all of this stuff. And then I don't know. I must think about this. Maybe this is an opportunity for 43. If after I sunk maybe the carriers, I could, if it's possible to get a positive outcome out of the first or second carrier battle with the Allies, and I know there's no carrier threat more, not immediately, I could maybe try to say, okay, I take all of Australia, but this will create the reinforcements event, and the Allies getting between 5 and 8 additional divisions in India, North America. This is a lot of combat power. So this would only make sense if I finish my operation in New Zealand on Bendoing and get my 8 divisions or even 10 divisions here to Australia and then take Australia. If I can finish all of Australia, it would be an option, but that also more or less close the opportunity for me to fight this convoy battles. And I don't know if these convoy battles are maybe at the end better for me, because this will bleed dry the Allies. If I take Australia, then there's no must for the Allies more for Xargun to really risk anything for Australia. If I let him stay this area of Australia, he must maintenance order and supply lines and fuel consumption. This will open opportunities to think something. So And the rest of the bases I build up the typical stuff. Tulare, Shortlands, Russell Islands, Port Moresby, Rabaul. Here's the Marshall Islands. I built up 3-4 bases. They're all not so strong, but yeah. I have to take also Luganville build up. Ifat, Suva, Nadi I must build up. I must normally build them both up and defend them both because they are the allies can only land on these 2 bases. I mean, you could land also here off base, but this is super hard to maintain and there's no air cover and anything. But I need also to build up Comarc normally, plus maybe the dot base. But I can also ignore the dot base. I think it's not so important. For the Japanese, it is possible to land here at the dot base and then walk here down with the amphibious assault bonus, but I think for the allies, this is not an option. If I really want to invest here too much in Pago Pago, maybe Savai I want maybe build up. It's jungle rough, so it's super hard to take this base. Could be also here the same, but yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 of these smaller islands also. I had a question if I want to go for Christmas Islands to have a forward base even closer to the west coast of West America, but I guess it's not making really sense. Battle for Tahiti, I also decline. I fight here and sink ships, but I don't want to fight for Tahiti. There was too much. I saw here 22 units or something on the island already. I don't know what it is, but I know out of my other games with Kilroy or so, you can put all your equipment here on the island, but if you then cut or intercept the enemy supply and fuel runs, then it will never leave more. Good, so much to the statistic here, and I have your my long range scout patrol, how you call it, float patrol or float boats or whatever. They're running here normally search and strike missions. The pilots have knowledge how to bomb, but I don't have here torpedoes. Maybe I can also bring torpedoes here. In similar situations here, search and bombs. If I bring here maybe a HQ later on, I could also use torpedo bombers. But this is more or less my protection for early warning against incoming against New Zealand, and this is protection also for Pago Pago. And then I have more or less possibility to always fly aircraft long range to all the spaces if I think there is something coming. And then I have also put early warning ships somewhere on the map. So if there's Navy search attacking them, then I know, okay, maybe something is coming, then I bring the aircraft in the position. Suva have a air HQ, maybe I will bring this to Pago Pago. Pago Pago have no aviation support. But I don't have so many air HQs. I could use 5 more, but sooner or later I get 2 or 3 more. This will help. Nomaya is of course a big hub of aircraft, so this is more or less a waiting, or you can see this guy is for sub hunting, Navy search, and this is then training. A lot of pilots are here training. You can see I already formed them to 27, so I train here a lot of stuff, different duties. And many have not enough real airframes to train very with efficiency, but over time. Good. Here's also, of course, the AHQ, and because I have this is a normal Navy HQ, and here's also a Navy HQ. I think one of this I will send now to this one I'll send to Townsville. I don't need here 2 Navy HQs. This is a normal HQ, this is not a command HQ, so I will not get a torpedo bomber bonus. But I want to have torpedoes here in Nomaya, of course. And I have a HQ here at Wellington. Plus I have a command HQ at Auckland. So torpedoes out of Wellington and Auckland is okay. Plus Nomaya. This gives me a good range to intercept or attack anything what is not carriers with my bombers, because I also get now the Nell bombers, the Nell M3. I think I convert this. No, not this one. Yeah, here. But this is only a sub-wing. This is already to the M3. And you can see there's a normal range with torpedoes for 21. So if I fly from Nomaya, I can reach the north end of New Zealand with my M3s. And there, if I fly from Auckland, I can reach up to here. I mean, this is not that I will fly always this distance. More far away is less likely to fly or find the target. Often then you miss the target or something like this. But at least it's possible. I could build up an airbase here to shorten the distance, and it's but I don't know if it really makes sense. The rail is not finished. This was a point why I do not really want it, because if there is something damaged, I cannot get it out. If something damaged in Wellington or Auckland, I can always rail it. Good. My super long range, the H8s are here. So far this is pre-production. Yeah. This is H8 K1. They have a range of 24. So this guys will help me if I have this aircraft, and later on in Nomaya and Wellington, Auckland, and here in Perth, I can close the gap really. This maybe if I fly from here to my submarine, there's not more much left with 24. I can go also the long range cap. I think long range was 30. Yeah. But then no torpedoes more. I think the firepower is coming from torpedoes. Again, I almost completely close the gap, but if I limited the gap to very small margins, then it's very easily for me to use my submarines to find the enemy and then intercept them. And if I intercept, or at least I get a detection somewhere here, it is far away from the edge of the map on this way, and also reaching the ports in the east of Australia. So it is for everyone the same distance. For me to catch him and for him to escape to the edge of the map, this is only he's running away and win nothing. And if you want to reach these ports in Australia, that is distance. I don't say it's impossible, and I also didn't say I must sink 100% of the ships. If I only sink 10% or 20% of every incoming convoy, that is still something. Good. And the last big part is maybe discussion about how is the industry going. So I will also use the tracker, but I can first make it here. Engine production, you can see that I need still in June. Yeah, I will shorten this one more month so that I get this engine in August, but this have really not much impact. H60 engine is very special. Not many airframes needed. So the H32 is still increasing the numbers. I increase the output for the H32 and 33. That is simple to say. This 34 and 35 I will not increase more. This is the maximum. I have the engine bonus for all 4 air type or engine types. That is fine. And the development of H45 and 43 is also increasing slowly. But you get only the 1% for every factory. But this means I get 5% for both types every day. There's not really much to do. The aircraft production, the roofs are still increasing. I will upgrade them. It's the beginning of June. I can convert this one to M5s. for free. Means all the capacity I increase here, I will maybe reach here the 60, and then I can switch in June, and then I have a production output of roughly 120 zeros M5s for June already. And then I increase maybe the numbers to 150 per month. And 150 I think is maybe output I will keep first. Because M5 is at the end also not the best fighter. And I think if I have here maybe 70 or maximum 80 per month, this is enough. This means that I will not produce more any roofs, because if I once switch them, I cannot switch back, at least not with destroying the factories. But I hope I have enough spare roofs. I don't know how many I really need, this is hard to say, but if I can maybe have 20 in spare, maybe this is enough. You can make a simple calculation and say how many roofs you really need. Then you can ask where I won't use my roofs. Then I would say you will use your roofs only on cruisers, battleships and scout cruisers. Then the limitation is in scenario 1, how many air wings you have can use the roof. So you could say you have 4 scout cruisers with 22, 26 capacity. So you can say roughly you need 100 roofs for this 4 scout cruisers. Then you have 2 special air wings, 99, this is 20 more, so you need 120 roofs. Then you could fill up what is possible. Then maybe I say, okay, I need maybe 30 more roofs for spare, because I will lose roofs over time. So I need maybe a total production number of 150 roofs before I will switch them. So I don't know if I really switch at 1st of June completely to M5, or if I maybe wait 5 more days and then maybe 5th or 10th of June I will switch. Because once I switch, no way go more back. Good. But what is coming after the roof? Of course, after the roof, this would be there no upgrade for the roof, or a better option, then I would maybe produce 200 or 300. But there's a Rex coming, and the Rex is better than the roof, so this is why I say I don't need unlimited numbers for roof. But the Rex is not part of the supply or R&D chain, so it's an independent airframe. So I think I will also soon run out of my pool engines for the B5N5, but so long I have still some engines left, I can produce them because they're this engine type. But then I will change this. So this two will change in June to M5 sooner or later. Then I can normally also switch off the production. Then I can use this factory for something. Maybe I keep them first at M2 and produce them still in numbers, because I still have later on the M8 coming. And the M8 is an engine, I must build something new. So maybe I will, if I have the M8 ready, I will use maybe this factory to produce M8s, produce with this guys more M5s first. And first, if the capacity of M8 is high enough, I can maybe switch again. We will see. I have the Nels now at the output of 50. I guess this is first enough. Means I can make a complete big air wing replacement per month. I don't know how many airframes I will lose. Nel bombers will die early, will easily die. They are not really much better than the older M2. They are only with more range. But this means I have soon a factory ready. I could use this factory for something. I could use this factory for something. The Betty factory I can change. The Mavis I will change from H6 to simply H8. In June I get 2 airframes, let's say this. In June I get the M5 and I get the H8. These are ready airframes already. So this I must convert. So you can also see that I produce already NICs, but I don't change any airframes so far. So I still produce them only for pool. I need much more airframes before I can really convert a wing to this airframe type. But I already changed one bomber wing to Helens, but I still need output higher. So the Helens I think I will increase to 80, maybe even 100. Because I don't know how many bombers I will lose in the future. And Helen bombers are for a long time the best airframe. Well, but you can see. So I increase still the production of Helen. I will increase in production of NICs to maybe 50, but not more. Nels, I think with 50 is first enough. I don't need more Jake scout planes because I think 30 is first enough. I will increase the roofs to 77. This is it, first enough. The torpedo bombers I can maybe increase, but this is also dead end line and I have normally enough pool. I have nearly 100 airplanes in pool for torpedo bombers. Dive bombers are 60. Maybe I can increase this. But these are also still already outdated airframes. They are just so. They're better coming. Better coming is... This needs time. This is first end of the year, so the next 4 or 5 months I must fight with the M5. And then beginning of 43 I will change to M8. Here's a new torpedo bomber coming, but it's also still some time away. But every month I switch. Maybe in June I get better hit rate to increase here the ND. The B7 is of course the best strike fighter or strike bomber Japan ever get. The torpedo, the dive bombers, this is what I'm waiting for, but I will build directly the D4 G4. So the 800 kilogram dive bomber. So I will skip everything in between. This means this one needs the H60, but the Type 4 will not use this engine. So there's really nearly nothing I will need this H60 airframe. Oh, they all have other airframes, so I don't know. I try a little at least for the B Jake, because the B Jake is simply better than the normal Jake, because it has the 20 millimeter forward firing gun or cannon in radar, but the radar is first in 44. You can also see that I work already in the K2 because the K1 is coming in June. So I now shorten the time of K2 as fast as possible. Once this is done, I can free up this A&D tools for, I don't know. I guess I will maybe put this one in the dive bomber. Then I can maybe get the dive bomber much faster. This is all still far away, Oscars are coming. I need, this is still a little far away, but it's coming. The Tojos, you can see two tools are already at the C, because I will only produce a C. A and B I will skip completely. I only produce a C model. So 2 A&D tools are already starting the A&D. And the other 3 are coming soon. And the Helen 2B, this is also the last in the line, is also coming more and more. So once this is done, I will put this maybe in Oscars. Because the Oscars is the only problem. I cannot really skip anything. I must really produce every airframe in between. And so there's the 2 A, B, C. And then there's, I think, a 3 A, B, and the 4 is the last one. And the 4 is really the best one because of the 20 millimeter cannons. It's still a very lightly built aircraft, but it's have armor and 20 millimeter cannons. So it's maybe useful for something in 43. Not more for 44, but for 43. And the rest is still coming, or not so much because it's still far. And here is a Rex. This is normally the better roof fighter. I don't push it too much because I think it's a very special aircraft, but at least I can try it. Good. And this is all what I can show you about R&D or industry or output, and all others I can maybe use tracker software. Then see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.